So I'm Beth Patterson, the Chief Legal and Technology Services Officer at Allens. Most of you will know Allens, but we're a firm of around 1,100 employees. About 50% of those are lawyers, 140 partners, and we have 40 offices in 29 countries through our global alliance with Linkletters. A bit about my background. I've been in legal technology for over 25 years. So I started my career at IBM as a programmer in the United States. Went on to study computer science and artificial intelligence way back in the 1980s, late 80s, and then moved in to work for a fintech startup back in the early 90s. After that, I moved into the legal arena. I'm privileged to have won an award last year through the International Legal Technology Association, the Litigation Support Distinguished Peer Award. And I think it demonstrated at Allens the great innovation that we've been able to achieve in our team over the past several years. So touching on the team at Allens, we have 70 plus legal technologists, legal project managers, and pricing experts. So we've built out a reasonably big multidisciplinary team. And we work direct with our lawyers and clients to deliver innovative solutions in this brave new world. I'm in charge of two of the components of our alternative service offering. One is Allens Aero, and we have 50 legal technologists, project managers, and the discipline is multi-skilled, multidisciplinary. We recruit actively people who have both law degrees, technology degrees, as well as legal project management and commercial expertise. So it's a kind of different skill set than our traditional lawyers. And we have a document review team as well as a technology team, and we've integrated those teams, and we're all under one roof, which I think is a bit of a distinguishing factor for us in our ability to provide a really efficient service. So the other area that I run is Law Lab, which is a group of technology and AI specialists. And we look at the new technologies and couple that with our legal know-how. It's an interesting area, as you all know. We're working with machine learning technologies, also predictive coding, advanced analytics, and expert systems. With regard to innovation and digital transformation, at Allens we've invested significantly in that area on the back of the significant global shift. And with that, we're adapting a much more client-centric approach. We're trying to really get out there and listen to what our clients want, where their pain points are, and adapt our offering to what they're looking for. I teach a legal technology a guest lecture at UTS through their law school in their civil practice course. And in that, one of the things we talk to the students about is why has technology changed? We've had technology for a very long time. We've had digital transformation, but what's going on now? And I talk about three main components. The first is the unlimited processing power that we have on the back of a guy named Moore back 40 years ago observed that technology, the processing power doubled every 2 years. And now we're in the kick of the exponential curve on that. So we have tremendous processing power that powers these AI engines. Secondly, cloud computing. It's a real game changer. Organizations don't have to have the capital investment that they used to be able to utilize these advanced technologies. You can buy access to software as a service by the hour, by the day, by the month, by the year. So it is enabling startups to compete with firms like Allens. And thirdly, it's the mobile computing. As we all know, that's transformed all our lives. And we have really the power of a mainframe in our palm of our hand. So with regards to digital transformation at Allens, we're really looking at three areas. The first is business efficiency, and we have initiatives like legal project management, business process reengineering, where we're using technologies to enable those initiatives. The second is new business models. So through Allens Aero, for example, we've been able to implement new business models to complement our traditional legal services. I'll give you an example. In the litigation space, for example, we've been able to offer our clients fixed price per document for both the document review and the technology component, which is the significant cost in a litigation. And thirdly, business ecosystems. The technology with regards to collaboration and marketplace technology is really transforming the way we work with our clients and the way we work with our teams. And we're using lots of different types of collaboration technologies in that space.
Can I ask you this very perhaps blunt, if not basic question? In the role that you've got, how do you see the future of lawyers?
I'll give you my answer on that. I think we'll always need lawyers. We will always need the top legal skills. But what I see are multidisciplinary skills for our lawyers, as well as them working with multidisciplinary teams. And that's what we've been doing at Allens for a long time. In fact, as a strategy, we started recruiting talent with both law degrees and tech degrees over 4 years ago, with the vision of what the future will look like. And I envision that lawyers will need to skill up much more in the tech space and be great users of tech, but not necessarily the programmers or the people who build the product. I think that will come through specialist teams like I have, as well as third party.
Okay. Are lawyers being adequately trained to integrate into today's legal profession, do you think?
It's interesting. I've had the opportunity. I'm working actually with 2 major universities on a legal tech course. And I think that there's lots of opportunity to build out their skill set. Typically at law school, they get fantastic legal training and they come out as great technical lawyers. But what we look for in addition to that is excellent commercial skills. The way litigation is practiced today versus even 5 years ago is quite different. You have to be really commercially savvy with your clients, and things change in a very different way. The second skill I see as really important is analytics, just understanding data and analytics and having good judgment around what you're seeing. The third is technical and also legal project management. I think lawyers coming out of law school need to be able to run projects in a different way than they perhaps traditionally have.
Should we be concerned about machine learning? Is that Big Brother Watson perhaps replacing lawyers or some of them?
It's a really good question and everybody's asking it. So the question really is, what's the hype and what's the reality? Having studied that type of technology back in the late 80s, I think that it's still in its infancy and it will have a big impact in law. I think that what we'll see are some of the more repetitive lower level jobs moving into the use of technology specialist skills working with our lawyers. And just to give you an example, we used advanced analytics and predictive coding in the litigation space. We had a big regulatory case come in and there were 10 categories we had to respond to. We were able, our team, the technologists, working with the lawyers, were able to put all the data in, well over 1 million documents. And before a lawyer even really looks at a single document, we get the analytics through concept clustering. And they were able to look and see a particular concept, a group of documents were going to respond to one category. It was well over 50,000 documents. They weren't really relevant. So we were able to go back to the regulator and actually negotiate that category, the scope of that category, save our clients money. It's much more efficient. So it's about the interaction of that technology and answer your question. And I do think it will change. There are applications being written as we speak around Watson. we've done a lot with expert systems and machine learning in contract analysis, due diligence, property lease review, and it'll make the lawyers' jobs more efficient.
Okay. Questions? Elizabeth?
If I could, thank you, Beth. That sounds fascinating and really encouraging that there is a law firm out there doing that multidisciplinary collaborative approach that we've heard a couple of times here today already. I'm interested to pick up something on what Gary mentioned in terms of lawyers being trained today and take that to our members, our colleagues today. Can I just have a comment from you about your interaction with lawyers today and their capacity as a, putting aside the competitive edge, just the base competence? Do we
have they kept pace with the?
Yeah, interesting you say that. Two of the courts now are just updating their practice notes to deal with predictive coding, for example. And I have seen a transition over the last couple years. The judiciary is much more interested and they've got much more education around it. I'm actually presenting to the bar on the use of technology, and so I think there's much more of an appetite from the different cohorts in terms of how to use the technology. And at the end of the day, it's driven by our clients, and it's driven by access to justice. The volumes of data that we're seeing, it's just prohibitive to think that a lawyer's going to review everything. They have to couple that with the use of advanced technologies.